Tara Knoll with Twist Mesquite Performance Horses. Today we're doing a video with Jesse. This is his 12th week in our program. We're going over some of the things we've been working on this week, advancing him through some body control exercises and helping him kind of figure out the stop and the backup. So we'll just get started here. So we started just yielding his hindquarters and then him coming back out into this bending at the walk. Just gets him moving that hindquarters, gets some motion there, and then takes him back forward, and we want him to get soft right here. Gets back following his nose. We'll warm up and do that at the trot and the lope when I am warming him up, just helping him understand, move that hindquarters, and then when my feet get back on him and I'm asking him to move forward, I want him to still be soft to this rein and to walk around here soft. These are what we're using as transitions right now. So if we transition him down to the walk, we're loping or trotting, that's what we're going to use for that. We can do it both sides. It's still, we're just progressing it as we go along, and so some of it's not very quick right now, but we're building that foundation to where he understands the movement, he understands what we're asking him, and then we can add speed as he does that really well. So we warm up doing that exercise, and we've started adding another in this week, where I'm gonna lope off down here to this fence. When we get to this fence, I want him to trot around in a circle here. And this is the first time we've got him really in a trot, and want him to kind of start following his nose and staying between our legs. We'll get us a few circles. So this is working on those transitions, and then we transition down to that trot, and then we want him to stay between our legs and keep following his nose. And he's figuring out what it means to transition down to a walk, or am I wanting him to stay at that trot, just by reading my body language and my legs. We're gonna get us a few circles. I want him to keep moving forward and start softening my inside leg while making a circle, staying between my legs, or we can make as good of the circle as we can. What lead we're in doesn't matter at this point. See right here, he slows down, stops, and we gotta keep him moving. get some energy in those feet. Lope off is getting a lot better. He lopes off. He's doing it pretty quick after I ask him. And we're going to come down here and kind of add in our transition down. Let him know that, you know, just kind of remind him of the differences. So I'll let my energy down. I still want him getting soft in this circle, follow his nose in this circle, stay between my feet, but we're just at this walk, and I'll ask him to get soft. Right there, I waited till he kind of committed to being in that circle right there. You know, so we've been touching on just continued to work on our, you know, if we're stopping. Whenever we stop this horse, we just keep kind of just chipping away at his stop and just pick these reins up, put my feet back on him and ask him to get a couple good steps. And right there, he kept his feet, he was lively in his feet. You know, I picked those reins up, he stopped, and then he started stepping back with good cadence. Got a few good steps when I stopped him. So to initiate this back up, I'm gonna lean back, pick these reins up, put my feet on it, and I'm right here, there. I asked for a few more steps than I have generally, just that, you know, we're wanting him to continue to step it up, continue to get better. Pick these reins up, put my feet on, lean back, and I'll kind of rock a little bit. Right now I'm just getting that consistent step, and then as I go, I'll improve it and, you know, start adding some direction in there where, you know, I can take his feet, you know, yield his hindquarters and put him back on that straight line, back him up, you know, and just keep, and we'll kind of work along on that. But right now I'm just building that understanding that, okay, when I pick up these reins, when I lean back and when I put my feet on him, I want him to start stepping back. And then as we, like I said, as that's good in his mind, then we will add direction in there where we can start back in circles, where we can start, you know, yielding his hindquarters to either direction, you know, and he can follow his hindquarters around where, and start, you know, we can kind of work on a little bit of a cow turn just so he has it on there. We can work on, I mean, just all sorts of stuff. And so we'll just keep advancing that. But right here at the end of our sessions, you know, it's getting hotter down here. And so we kind of pick and choose when we work on some loping exercises. If I have one that I kind of want to work on that stuff, we'll kind of get out here early, or start that horse first, or wait till later in the day or something. But so to end our sessions, we've been kind of walking him down this fence line, and I want to step back, yield that hindquarters, and have him stop perpendicular to this fence right here. And I kind of do it at the end of the day or end of the ride, because it's you know, a slower movement, it's a slower exercise, and it kind of just makes for a good cool down exercise. But what I'm going to do, you know, this is how I teach them. This is where I'm going to teach them to side pass. And so, but this is the initial step to that, the first step to that, where I can take this horse onto this fence, I can disengage that hindquarters, and then with that movement, then I will start asking him to step that rib cage over and kind of start side passing. And they're just helping us get more body control on this colt, whether you want to open a gate or it's just in your dry work exercises. You want to be able to pick that rib cage up, you want to be able to step that horse over. You know, maybe you're working a cow and you want to be able to pick that horse up so that you can come back through that turn. Maybe in your rein work you want to be able to do the same, you know. So this is just helping this horse understand the differences in our leg position and what those mean. I like how soft this colt's, he's following his nose here good, yields that hindquarters good. You know, kind of see as we go back this other way. You know, we haven't worked on a whole lot of stepping his front end around yet, other than just starting to familiarize him with that. You know, every time I ask him to step over this way or that way, my outside foot is pressed up against him, and asking him for that turn or following through with that turn. But as we go along here, we'll start kind of moving that front end over, kind of start yielding that front end, and it'll help us. So he kind of overshot a little bit, so we'll just straighten him back up, put him back on the fence. He just won't eat this feed, so I'm just kind of keeping. I don't want to jerk on him here. I don't want to do anything that causes this horse to start getting resentful of this bit or start adding any kind of bracingness, anything that starts that horse to start bracing up against my hands. I don't want to do any of that. So I don't think this horse is going to be hard to start yielding, you know, side passing. He kind of already wants to do it. But see, when I ask him to step into this other direction, I'll open my inside foot up and push him through with my outside foot. And you know, as like I said, we haven't worked on anything specifically related to that as of yet, but from the very beginning I start kind of working on that stuff, so these horses just kind of start to understand a little bit what those leg movements mean, what those directions mean, and then as we go along we'll kind of work on each of them specifically, and then that sets it up in that horse's mind where he really understands. So I like how soft this horse is, how low-headed he is. He's really wanting to just, you know, it's one of those horses. I think you're going to run you know, every set of horses you start, or you know, you get on different ones, you're going to feel things about each of them that you're like, man, yeah, that's what that's supposed to feel like. Just like this horse wants to be in the reining and just wants to be soft and guide around, and you know, he's athletic, and not necessary, you know, I don't necessarily feel anything that hinders him, you know, movement wise or build wise, balance wise. You know, I think he's going to be he's just going to be a really nice all-around horse. Is how he moves around. And you know, he's little on the small side, but you know, for kind of the performance reining, you know, cow horse stuff, he doesn't necessarily need to be all that big. So you know, as long as you keep him sound and keep him healthy, which, you know, we've been able to start to kind of develop him along, and he's been able to put size on and build his strength up, and so I think he's just going to be a all-around really nice horse. You know, but like a horse that, for me, you know, this horse just wants to be really soft, moves his body really well, and it's been very nice to ride. Got a little confused, so I just waited for him there, waited for him to make the right decision. And that's where we will quit him. You know, that's just kind of an overview of where we're at with him, what we're working on. Some of the stuff's kind of slower right now, but we're putting all the pieces together. He's starting to ride around really nice, and we're excited to see how he continues along over this next month. So we'll catch you on the next one.